Hi, you guys. So I have some news, and I'm so excited because this was something that I've always wanted to do. But I'm starting a podcast. So it's called Can I Be Honest? And on this podcast, what we're going to do is I'm going to have some amazing guests and they're going to share their knowledge. We're going to have some unfiltered conversations. You guys know me. I'm all about being real, being authentic. My heart is racing so much right now because I'm just so nervous. I'm so nervous because I don't want to mess up, right? And again, I am just so excited. I can't wait to share the amazing people that I've met over the years. My future guests, one of them happens to be my dad, so I can't wait for you guys to hear his story. So stay tuned for that. And just the journey that I've had over the years of you know, for those who know me or don't know me, my story, my background is that I was in a really bad car accident in 2016, and I happened to be married to my high school sweetheart, and he died on impact. And my parents happened to be in the car accident as well. I always get so emotional when I talk about my mom and dad because I'm so grateful that I have them today. And I'm somebody who gratitude every day I wake up and I'm just like, man, I woke up today. I'm so blessed. And in the accident, we were hit at 121 miles per hour. And till this day, when, I think about the accident and everything that has happened, I just always think like, man, I'm not supposed to be here. Like, and if I am here, I need to do something. I need to give back. I need to serve. I need to leave some type of impact of positivity because I didn't go through sitting, literally burning alive for 15 seconds for nothing, right? And losing Andres and having to figure out my life from rock bottom. And let me tell you, I hit rock bottom emotionally, physically, mentally, and financially. And it was one of those things where I really grew up overnight. I also have a guest who will give you the perspective of who Carolina was before the accident. And that's a very interesting story. So I can't wait to share that with you guys. Oh, I told myself I wasn't going to be a Chiona. But you know what? I'm totally in my soft era now. I'm a wifey again. That's another whole other story. And life is just so different. But going through the challenges that I've met some amazing people that are going to share their stories and they're going to, because again, you guys, we all have stories and they're going to share their stories. They're going to talk about their lives. We're going to go over just beautiful life lessons that we've all been through. I also went through a weight loss journey. So those of you who were on the journey with me, you guys saw that I went from 235 to 175. I think right now I fluctuate between 172 and 175. So that was my high school weight. And I'm in a maintenance mode now, right? And as I'm in maintenance mode, it my whole journey is so different now. Before it was like hustle, hustle, hustle. I wasn't sleeping. I failed. I had so many things I failed at. I failed at not eating right, at sleeping, at yo-yoing and thinking that I was getting everything done, but it was all part of my beautiful lesson. It was all part of my path, everything. And part of that, I really learned how to become a manifester. And again, the reason why I chose to do this podcast is not only just to give back and for everybody to understand that no one has it together, no one's perfect. I'm definitely not perfect. And we can all dream big. And this is my fourth vision board. I have it behind me because it's something really, really near and dear and special to my heart because everything that I've put on this board, I've been able to accomplish. I got married, just so many things that I can go over. And I share all of that because I'm somebody who you got to dream big, right? We all have a purpose in life, and sometimes that purpose is just to be kind to others. And so in my journey of losing weight, and then, part of the losing weight, the journey was being on Revenge Body. So I think some of my followers know me from the show because I was the widow that they had on the show. And that was the one thing that when I was going through production and the executive producers were like, why should we give you this contract? I told myself, well, I'm going to get this done whether you guys film it or not. It's your choice if you want to film it. I was already on a weight loss journey. I was already trying to figure it out. And when I tell you I manifested Chloe, I manifested the contract, I manifested the entire, experience, because I was in a place in my weight loss journey where I plateaued. I had hit 212 from 235 to 212. I didn't know how else to lose weight. I was eating too little, which my metabolism was shot. And when I signed for the contract for the show, it was literally, okay. I remember sitting at home and being like, okay, Caro, you need a trainer and you need a nutritionist. You need somebody who can like get it together for you. And I manifested that. I think I want to say I put it on my vision board March of 2018, and August of 2018 was when I had signed the contract for Chloe. And we started filming September of 2018. We finished the end of September of 2018. It didn't air until 2019 because of all the scandals that went on for Chloe, unfortunately. And with all of that, my goal was I'm not gonna stay, like, I'm not gonna be a contestant that gained all the weight back. I'm not gonna be like a Biggest Loser where, what happens is that people lose weight and then they gain it all back. I was so determined to not be that person. So, 2019 comes, I get my trainer, I'm super focused, I'm trying to figure things out. I had lost weight. I think I had lost like around 25 pounds on the show, but I was on a J-Lo abs journey, right? I was like, I'm not stopping until I hit these abs, like until I get there. And it was something that was really hard because I was failing a lot, and it was because I wasn't sleeping. In my executive career, I had so much going on. I had an incoming president, going an outgoing president. I had a new job that was, the proposition was being presented to me. I had a lot of change in life. I was the single girl working a lot, but that was also something. Working out and working out a lot were my coping mechanisms. And I learned later on in life that I just didn't want to feel, right? Because it was like if I kept busy, if I was like, go, 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 I didn't have to feel. And so fast forward, I had met Dr. Ellie, and I was already in this journey of I was drinking my teas, I was detoxing. It was my sister's baby shower, February of 2020. My niece is going to be born in March. We're super excited as a family. We finally have this bundle of joy, like so excited. I'm so happy for my sister. And we have the baby shower, and I brought like these containers. Oh, I should have brought the container. I had these containers full of fruit. And I remember my best friend and like everybody was at the baby shower and they're like, you're gonna eat that? And like, if you guys know me, I was the person that like when my sister found out she was pregnant, I was like, okay, I am like, call me Thea. We're gonna pop some bottles. So I was the only one not drinking at the baby shower because I was so committed to being on this journey. I was detoxing with Ellie's teas, and I was like, I am on a mission to get these JLo abs. Like it's all over my board. I was like, I am on a mission to get these JLo abs. And so all this is going on. I had already figured out that I wasn't strong enough to go out with my girlfriends, which meant that I started to quarantine without knowing that I was quarantining, right? And February goes by, March, my niece is born. We're super excited. It's March 2nd. And then I'm at work, and I get a conversation with my boss, and she is like, grab your stuff. Garcetti's going to make a conversation, or he's going to make an announcement on Sunday. We're not coming back. And I'm like, okay, this is real. This is what's going on. And the shutdown happened. And I lived alone. So for me, I was just so super focused on work and trying to figure out how do I work out if I couldn't go see my trainer. And that was a struggle. And the reason why it was a struggle was that it made me really have to go within because there were a lot of feelings that I didn't want to feel. And it was for a reason. I was running away from them. I did a really good job of running away during the holidays. I would go travel, and COVID made me sit down and really feel feelings that I didn't want to feel. And it was like such a blessing that I got to pause because I was so go, go, go for so long that it's okay to feel pain. It's okay to feel grief. Grief is just a beautiful reminder of a life you once had. And I swear I'm such a Chiona. I'm such a Chiona now. I'm a Capricorn. We don't cry. Like Capricorns don't cry, at least not in front of cameras and stuff. But it was such a beautiful time in my life because I really let my walls down with myself. And because I did that, I was able to become a better me. I was super laser focused, 7 months of staying super consistent. Of like, I'm gonna make this happen. I'm gonna get my JLo abs. I don't have kids. I don't have a husband. I don't have a partner. Like, I was like, I'm in quarantine. I'm getting time back. If I don't get abs, like, there is like, then I don't deserve them because at the end of the day, like, there's no excuse, right? Fast forward to it's August, and it's August of 2020, and Instagram starts to introduce this little thing called Reels. And I had done a couple of videos working out, and I was getting close to my JLo abs. I was probably like, gosh, like 5 pounds away from my JLo abs. And I remember being at my friend's pool house, and I took a picture of being in a swimsuit. I was tanning a lot. I was like, I was feeling really good. I was really loving myself. And I took a picture and I took a video and I put it part of my reel and I put it part of my Instagram and I tagged JLo. And when I tell you tiny and like, man, my angels really have my back, the timing was so perfect because there was an emergency that I had to drive over to my executive position and I had to go handle something like at 8 o'clock at night. And I'm at home and I'm like making the reel and I'm like, what JLo song and what this and that and I'm gonna tag her and I'm gonna tag her peeps and I tagged everybody. And again, reels were new. No one was doing reels. And I do the reel, I tag her. I must have done the reel like 4 times, like editing it and deleting it and over and over. And then finally, I'm somebody who, like, again, like this, I'm shooting this one shot, whether my face looks good or not, whether the angle is right, whether the hair is right. It is what it is. This is my face, right? And I had gotten to the point where I was overproducing the video. And I go, you know what? No, I'm just gonna post it. And I was like, this is just what it is. So I post it. And what ends up happening is I'm driving over to my work, 8 o'clock at night, handling an emergency situation. And I see, what looks like to be JLo, like it's popping up on my phone. Like she's like liking stories of mine that I had just posted. She's commenting on my Instagram. She's, she liked my reel. And I started to get comments from people being like, Carolina, JLo just liked like JLo just commented, like, oh my God, JLo's on your page. And I'm like, there's no way. I pull over, I get to my executive spot, I pull over, I look at my phone and I'm just like, oh my God. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I love JLo. Like, oh my God, JLo just went on my Instagram and I'm gonna cry again. I cried so hard because I worked so hard to get those abs and I still work hard, but that validation and the saddest part, you guys, was that it was another beautiful reminder. I didn't have anybody to call. I was single. I didn't have a partner. Andres was gone. I called my inherited best friend. I called my sisters. And the irony was I couldn't get through to anybody. And I just remember sitting there just crying in my car, just so happy. I'm like, JLo saw my Instagram, but I have nobody to share it with. And that was just another beautiful reminder of life, right? Eventually, my parents called me back. Eventually, my sisters called me back and they were like excited for me. But that was hard. And that was a moment that I realized that I was alone. Even though I have family, companion-wise, I was alone. And I remember I remember when my parents called me back, they were like my dad was like, "What happened? ¿Qué pasó?" All Mexican parents freaking out. Papi, J-Lo went on my Instagram. I'm like, J-Lo went on my Instagram. And he's like, esa. And my mom was like, ¿Qué está hablando? ¿Qué pasó? And I'm like, Mommy, J-Lo went on my Instagram. Esa. I just remember being like, you guys don't understand. Like she is my goals. Like that's my body goals. And I apologize. I'm probably gonna have mascara like running out for the whole thing. But anyways, um, so that was like, oh man, I was so excited. And I remember handling everything at work, the situation, and then just thinking to myself, okay, I just hit my goal. I hit JLo abs. I had JLo on my Instagram. I manifested her. It's time to level up. It's time to go bigger. It's time to dream big. And that was in 2020. And I had literally told myself, it's time to manifest Bruce Wayne. And if anybody has been following my journey, you guys know that I've always been talking about Bruce Wayne. And Bruce Wayne to me, it was the feeling of the alpha man. For me, it was, okay, I want this strong alpha who knows how to gently put me in my place. Okay. I'm not talking about rude, machismo. No, I'm talking about a man who knows how to adore me, but when he needs to tell me no and put me in my place, he can gently, right? Like he just knows how to handle me, without feeling insecure. Cause that was something that I always came across men that were just super insecure. And so I was like, okay, this is what I got to do. And any of my mentees, anytime we talk about dating, the one rule or the one thing that I always tell my mentees are, if you want Bruce Wayne, you got to become Bruce Wayne, right? And for me, if I knew that's what I wanted, then I needed to be at that level as well. And so I started to work on me. I started to figure things out. Started to figure out, how do I create a business? How do I do I started to do the work. I was not only doing the inner healing work, because you got to love you before you can love anybody else. But it was not only the healing, but also like, okay, if I want to level up and I want to attract this man, like I got to get it together, right? So I got to become Bruce Wayne pretty much. And the Christmas before I met my husband, my dad, I have a video of my dad where I said, Dad, what do I want for Christmas? And he was like, Bruce Wayne. And so I always laugh because I think I want to say I met my husband a year later. Yeah, it was like a year later. So I had done the work. I was super focused on me. I had transitioned into a completely new position at work where I was building a whole different department. There was a position that we had never had before in the history of the corporation that I'm a part of. And it was one of those things where I just was growing, growing, growing. And with growing comes a lot of failure. It comes a lot of life lessons. It comes a lot of humbling, because my ego was, whew, had to get checked. And it was a beautiful time because I was learning so much. And then it's about July. I just finished coming back from the Bahamas with my beautiful nieces. And Thea was showing them the ropes of how to travel and how to have fun. Mind you, I've traveled with them and their family like all the time, so they've definitely showed me the ropes on traveling just in general. But that trip was just us. It was just me and my nieces, and it was so beautiful because they're also growing up. So I also knew, you know, they're going to want to be with their own friends. They're not going to want to hang out with Thea all the time. So it was a special trip that I'll forever hold in my heart with them. So I love you girls. If you guys are watching this, I love you guys so much. And what ended up happening was I was so done with LA dating, Miami dating, that I just was like, you know what? I'm okay being alone. And I had said it many hundreds of times. I said it so many times. But I was to the point where I was like, no, I feel it. And I sat on my couch and I put my hand over my heart and I said, you know what, Gato, it's okay. It's okay if you never get married again. It's okay if you don't have kids. It's okay if you're just the best tia to everybody's kids. It's okay if you just travel the world. It's okay. It's okay because at the end of the day, you love you. And I'd rather be alone than be in poor company because I've had that. I've had poor company, and no, that's not living. My nervous systems were never okay. Being alone, my nervous systems were good. So I decided that I was just gonna intentionally just be alone. And I was okay with it. I was loving myself so much. I think I want to say I was going to, did I start Orange Theory yet? No, I didn't start Orange Theory yet. I was just so focused on like working out. I think running, I was running more. And, I was just happy with being alone and just being content with that. And August of 2021, because Jonathan and I will have 3 years this August. August of 2021, I go to my best friend's birthday like booze cruise thingy where like you paddle and you can like drink beer. I happened to miss the boat ride because I showed up late. And so I missed the boat ride, and I'm just kind of sitting in Laguna and just kind of like chilling there. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna like do social media, post, walk around the neighborhood, manifest, do all of that. And so I ended up being on Instagram. And what happened was back then, Instagram used to be your parameter. And because it was the parameter, I popped up on Jonathan's Instagram page, I think his Explorer page. And, and so I'm never in the OC. I really wasn't a Laguna girl or anything like that. I wasn't a OC girl. And so I'm like, okay, slides into the DM, but it was the way he did it was so different. It had nothing to do with me being pretty, with my body, with anything with looks. It was very kind, endearing, and just a smooth conversation. And I think it was like 1 or 2 days of us messaging. And then he asked for my number and asked if he could just call. And I was like, yeah, I'm like, wow, it's people don't call nowadays, but okay, cool. And he ends up calling me. And almost 3 years later, doesn't stop calling me. When I tell you the consistency that I felt with Jonathan, I had never had that. There was never anybody that I had dated that was so thoughtful and considerate and just so consistent. But I will laugh, I'll make you laugh. Jonathan not only scheduled our lunch date when we met, like before we even met, but he also scheduled our dinner. So he scheduled lunch and dinner before we even met. So I always laugh at that because I'm like, sir, I'm like, you were really like on a mission, like for sure. And it was just nice. And so, we meet for the first time. We go to lunch on Melrose, and, we're sitting down, we're talking. And I always say the funny story how I work 24/7. And usually that was very intimidating to a lot of people that I would date, because I have my laptop with me everywhere I go. And what ended up happening was I get a phone call that I need to jump on a Zoom. I pretty much need to just like be on the Zoom for like 10, 15 minutes. And this was right before I was going to head back to the office for about 2 months straight to help get everybody back safely from COVID. So it was 2021. Yeah, it was 2021. We're working on getting everybody back towards the end of the year, into the office safely, distancing, all of that. So it was going to be me no longer being remote Monday through Friday. So my chances of being able to have lunch with him during the week were going to be gone. So the timing of everything was like just so perfect. And so everything's going on. I tell him I have to jump on this Zoom. I'm immediately thinking, that's it, it's over. Like this guy's never going to call me back. I'm too masculine. I'm too alpha. Like I work 24/7 for my job. Like it is what it is. Like we're just never going to talk again. And so I literally right there, I plop on my laptop, I jump on the Zoom, I do it, and then I'm done. And I go, oh, hey, I'm so sorry. Like, my bad. This is just my job. My job is 24/7. And he goes, oh, it's okay. You just, you gave me time to look up some emails for, my companies, this and that. And I'm like, what? You're not bothered? I'm like, this doesn't bother you? You're okay with this? Like, oh, that's new. And it was just easy. It was easy. And the one thing that I truly appreciate about my husband is that never left me guessing. My nervous systems were never like, where is he? Oh, butterflies. No. My nervous systems were always calm, Even when I first met him, he was calm. You know, and the best part is that because, I still had to do work on me, was there was still a lot of healing that I had to do. I had never really met anybody that I could really commit to. And so with our story, mine and Jonathan's story, was that, he was very patient because there were moments that I wanted to run, and I actually tried to run. And he was so good on just asking me, like, you know, I'm not going anywhere. What did I do to trigger you? Like, how can I, just so patient. And to me, I was like, wow, this man really wants to stick around. Like, I'm not easy. I know I'm not easy. I'm a Latina. Like, there's going to be sometimes I'm going to be toxic. Okay. I'm crazy like that. But I'm honest and I own it. And yeah, I was like, wow, but I always share. I'm like, Jonathan totally le gusta más la vida. So I share that. But with that said, it was just one of those things where I was like, huh. And he knew I was a widow. And knowing that I'm a widow and understanding what that means. And when I tell you, like, my first year with Jonathan and him just giving me the space to be a mess, I'm just so grateful for that. Like, forget him being a good man and just a good person. Like, I was a mess emotionally sometimes because I was just navigating, letting go and moving forward. And life is hard. And I never try to sit here and share with you guys that I'm perfect. I always try to make sure that people understand I'm not, and no one is. And please don't compare yourself to anybody on social media. Social media is fake, like, no one's going to be posting their failures. And if they do, that's awesome, because we need more of that. We need people to see when we're a mess like this. I did not think I was going to do my first podcast episode and be like such a chillona. I thought I was going to have it all together, but I'm telling you, being in my soft era is like, I'm just so much more emotional. It's probably years and years of backed up emotions. And I share that because I don't want anybody to think we're also the perfect couple. We're not. We do have disagreements. And one of my really good friends, her name's Cher, she gave me the advice a couple years ago where she said, at the end of the day, everybody has issues. There's always problems. How do you solve those issues is the most important part. Are you yelling at each other? Are you having real conversations? Or are you just yelling things to see who can win, right? And I paid attention to that because that, you know, again, Jonathan and I are not perfect. And when we do have a disagreement, it's a conversation. It's not a yelling match. It's not me trying to one up him. You know, it's none of that. It's having a real discussion of trying to listen to one another and be like, okay, where do we compromise? Where do I compromise? Where do you compromise? Um, so yeah, I was very grateful to, to find somebody who was just gonna have the patience for me. And then probably within a couple months, Jonathan met my family. And my dad was very guarded when he first met Jonathan. They met at he took us to the Malibu winery. And Jonathan had flowers for my sisters, my mom. He was just so excited. He had my dad's favorite chocolates. And so we meet for dinner, and my dad immediately would sit down, and my dad goes, "Why do you like her? She's loud," And Jonathan's response was just Jonathan being Jonathan. And he just said something along the lines of like, I really enjoy, like the conversations we have. We laugh a lot. And he's like, and I really love your daughter. And that's too mushy for a Capricorn. So my dad's like, cool, peace out. I'm gonna go to the restroom real quick. Um, so it was beautiful. You know what I mean? It was beautiful. It was something that I'm forever grateful for, the experiences. And, we were together for probably a year. And then that's when Jonathan proposed. And then his schedule for work is pretty crazy. Those who follow me, you guys know he travels a lot for work, all over the place. I want to say he's almost at 1 million miles of flying. He'll for sure hit that by the end of the year. And it's one of those things where, I'm very grateful for having the companion, the partner, the soulmate that I have, because he just gets me, right? And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying, I'm praying that it stays like this forever, but we don't know. But at the end of the day, I never thought, oh my God, I did not think I was gonna cry so much. I just didn't think I was gonna be happy like this again. I was just so broken before, so broken. And I didn't think that I would find somebody who would just get me. Andres and I grew up together, and losing him in the car accident and not being able to get him out and save him, that's something that it hurts. But then meeting somebody who gets me and allows me to be broken is a gift that I'm so grateful. He's such a good man. He has such a good heart. And I'll say, when I had my list of manifesting, what I wanted to manifest was, I wrote on there I wanted somebody who worked way harder than I did, because I was always outworking the people I dated. And it was nice because he does. He's such a hard worker, and I appreciate him for everything he does. He's humble, saves, constantly saving. Sometimes I'm like, do we really have to save this much? But constant saver, which I appreciate. When it comes to financials, he reminds me so much of my father. They actually speak the same language. So, there was one time my mom was like, well, mija, don't worry, at least, things will always be good. And I'm like, well, yeah. But sorry, I did not mean to. This is real life, right? I didn't think my emotions were going to come out so heavy with doing this first podcast, but again, I wanted to be unfiltered. I wanted to be one shot. I'm not trying to cut this up. I just wanted to be real, authentic, and it is what it is. You guys see me, and it's my vision board. It's something that means a lot to me. I wanted to share that with you guys. I don't have a fancy studio, but I just wanted to share it, and I can't wait to share people who mean a lot to me in my life, who I've been able to shape and help me. And I love when I can connect other people to them, because they have such amazing stories of what they've been through, that who knows if I can connect somebody with somebody else, and each other help each other, right? Um, so I feel very blessed for what I've been able to accomplish. I'm currently in my wifey era, being married. It's so nice, but it's so different at this age. I'm so excited. I'm gonna be turning 40 this year, and to me, aging is such a gift, and I embrace it, and I'm not afraid of it. And I constantly work on me. As you guys can see, my skin, I invest in my skin heavily. I do a bunch of treatments. Bowie, you guys all know Bailey, her Medi Spa, Bowie Studios. Definitely check them up. I love my friends, and I will always give my friends shout outs, especially when I believe in what they do, right? And so for me, learning, and I can't wait to share my guests and to have them explain and share with you guys the things that they've taught me. And I just want everybody to know what I know, right? I feel like with Instagram, I get only like little bits and parts, and I try to do Sunday questions, and I try to share more, and I can't. And I feel like here I get to, and trust me, I know I'm a perico. I'm talking like, probably, I don't even know, probably it's already over an hour. I can't even tell where the timing's at, but I just want to share, right? And just be real, be authentic, be vulnerable. There's so much strength and vulnerability. I learned that later on from my mentor, who Dr. Colley, who had told me, you know, crying is a strength, Carolina. It's like very few people can do it. And he's so right. I didn't understand that until much later. I matured more. And I realized that it is a huge strength to be speaking at a crowd, which I did a couple of weeks ago, and man, did I cry hard. Um, Speaking with a crowd and just cry and share raw emotions. Um, so again, I just wanted to share with you guys, the goals that I have coming up. A podcast was something that I had always had in the back of my mind, but I was scared. I was scared to fail. I was scared to put myself out here, to be honest with you. Scared that I wouldn't have guests that would say yes to do a podcast. Um, it's scary. It's scary to start something new. But I'm somebody who, even with my mentees, if I'm going to tell them to not allow fear to get in the way, and you're only going to know when you do it, I can't sit here and talk the talk and not walk the walk. And so I'm so huge on, you know what? If I'm going to say this, I got to align with it, because then I'm just full of shit, right? So, again, thank you so much. I really appreciate all of you guys for even just the time that you gave me to watch this, to listen to this. I'm so excited. I can't wait for you guys again to see the guests that I have. I'm grateful for them and for them saying yes. My goal is to probably do an episode like every 3 weeks, every month. In full transparency, just whatever I can really commit to. And I don't want to half-ass for you guys. I want quality, right? So I just want to say thank you for those who stuck around this long. Thank you for crying with me. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for watching this, if you're watching it visually and not just the podcast. But thank you for just being kind. If you're a follower, I I owe you everything. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for your interactions, your engagement, your kindness. Um, I, I I wouldn't be able to have a platform to share. And I'm still learning, and I'm still learning how to do content. And I'm grateful for the friends that have taught me. Patty, you're the best. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with me. And little by little, right? I've learned that things don't happen overnight, and I don't want them to happen overnight, because right now, if someone told me that I would have immediate success and fame tomorrow, I wouldn't be ready for it. I need to get ready for it. And I've learned that I get ready for it by going through the process, by having the journey, by failing, by having the life lessons. So, again, thank you so, so much for your time. Time is something we do not get back. So, I find it very precious. And I just want to thank you for being a part of my first episode. I can't wait for episode 2, but just know that tomorrow, because it's airing tomorrow, so if you listen to it, but it's a Capricorn full moon. And I am somebody who is very spiritual, but I grew up Catholic, so I also have my Catholic beliefs. And I totally believe in the Virgin Mary, and I know she has my back. And I'm just so grateful for everybody, for your kindness, for my angels that are always taking care of me, watching my back. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry again. I've been heavily thinking of my grandparents, and my grandpa's birthday passed just the other day. And he was such a jokester, he's so funny. But my abuelita Aurora is my middle name. I can't even talk. And I had such a bond with her. She was my Capricorn. We shared birthdays. She was December 27th. I was the 28th. And she's somebody who I miss dearly, because the conversations we had, and she was always so direct with me, and I was never hurt by it because I responded so well. So I share, and I know I swear I told you guys I would get off, but I swear,
I think about them and, I pray to my angels and I'm just like, please help me get through all of this. Life isn't easy. We're all struggling. There's something that we all have to work on, but I always pull my strength from my faith. And I'm just so grateful for them because somebody, right? God, God in the universe, there's a reason why, you know, I wasn't, I didn't die in the car accident. And to have my detective tell me that he has no idea how I'm alive, to have the doctor in the ICU tell me he has no idea how I didn't pass away from the injuries or the gas. Um, I have to do something, right? I can't just be here and just exist. I need to give back. So please, thank you again. I truly appreciate you. And I'm sorry if this took so long. I was literally like, it's gonna be 20-minute intro but oh my God, I'm such a chillona. But thank you so much for your time. Did I get my mascara? I think I did. Thank you so much for your time. I love you guys, and I cannot wait to share the next episode and my next guest. And I'll make sure to let you guys know the closer it comes to airing. But thank you, thank you, thank you. Muchísimas gracias por su tiempo y por todo su apoyo. And you know what? Sí se puede. And I'm so excited. And this is only the beginning. It's time to level up.